Hey there, everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice, and welcome to the premiere of the 1983 season using APBA Basic. We are replaying the 83 Mets season, and this is going to be a blast. One of the reasons, there's a couple of reasons. One is Tom Seaver. Tom Seaver's back, as you can see in this April 18th, 1983 Sports Illustrated. The cover says, "You can go home again. Tom Seaver makes dazzling return to the Mets." So this is exciting. One of the main reason I wanted to play this season, the Mets administration really bungled this whole Seaver. They had a chance to get Seaver back for his 300th win, which he will do in '86 against the Yankees at Yankee Stadium. He won 30 games. Following the 83 season and the 84-85, he won about 30 games for the Chicago White Sox. They don't protect him in a free agent in a draft that's held, a free agent draft. They had an opportunity to protect him. They chose to protect somebody else, thinking that nobody would pick up kind of a 37-year-old, worn, ace. And who had a terrible 1982. I think he was like 5-12 or 5-14 with a 5 ERA. So the Mets picked him up in '83. It was cheap, and then of course it was time for them to make a move, and they decided they were going to protect somebody else. And Seaver was picked up by the White Sox, signed with the White Sox, and again the Mets brass bungled the Tom Seaver situation. So that was very, very sad. So this is kind of a bittersweet season. And we're going to get started. We're playing APBA. APBA plays very quickly. This is APBA Basic. And to really be a professional playing APBA Basic, you need the yellow cup. If you don't have a yellow cup, you're really a hack APBA player. You can't use a frosted cup. You can't use a medicine a container. You have to. We'll just put this down here right now. All right, let's get started. I'm going to keep score on paper, but I am using the Stratomatic system to keep score, to keep all my stats for this replay, because Replay Baseball doesn't have it. All right, doesn't have the 1983 season. So there you go. Steve Carlin versus Tom Seaver. They got Tom Seaver's nickname right. Terrific. They don't have Pete Rose. Pete Rose is named Charlie Hustle. They just have Pete. So I don't know how much effort they put into this. But let's go. You have to have the red die and the small white die. All right, here goes. And that's a 56. And that's going to be a strikeout. So Rose actually struck out 3 times in this game, and Seaver gets him on a fastball. All right, so it's Joe Morgan. He's a left-handed batter. It's from Bonham, Texas, 54, and that's lifted to right. Under it is the right fielder, Mike Howard. Mike Howard plays 1 game with the Mets. Now on deck, it's Gary Matthews stepping up to the plate. On deck is Mike Schmidt. He's the cleanup batter. Then batting 5th is Tony Perez, the first baseman. That's the third ex-Red from the Big Red machine that the Phillies have on their team here. It's Phillies Carton versus New York Seaver. Then it's Bo Diaz batting 6th, the catcher. Batting 7th is Ivan De Jesus, the shortstop. Batting 8th is Bob Dernier, the center fielder, and Steve Carlton batting 9th. They have a 36 total defense. That puts them in the B or 2 range, I believe. It's the middle range, and I'll show you that book in a second when I have to grab it. Mets are going to be in the worst range, C range, or in the 3 range with a 33. So they don't have a very good defense at all. Gary Matthews, here's the pitch from Seaver, 45, that's ball 4. So just like that, the Phils have a base runner. So we're going to add something here so we have access to, I have to wait, hold on a second. Options, I got to minimize game preferences. All right, in a second, I'll do that. All right, so then it's going to be Mike Schmidt. Mike Schmidt has good power numbers. He's got a 1 at 66 and a 1 at 11. And that's a 61. That's ball 4. Back-to-back walks by Tom Terrific with 2 outs. So not getting the call behind the plate. And let's see, options, game preferences, no play-by-play. And it's Joe Morgan. He's Oh, wait. What the heck just happened? Game options. Game preferences. Computer manager, New York, managed by computer. No. Oh, manual entry. Oops. Okay, so I got Gary Matthews. Gary Matthews is going to walk. All right, so Gary Matthews walks. And then it's going to be Mike Schmidt walks, back-to-back walks. So I have to put in a little bit in so I have access to the rosters. And then I'll put everything in later. So first and second is going to be Tony the Dog Perez. That's a 24, and that's strike 3. And Seaver picks up 2 strikeouts in this inning. So it's going to be no runs and no hits. And we go to the bottom of the first. All right, so it's Mookie Wilson, excuse me. 41, that's grounded to short. Picked up by Ivan De Jesus, fires across the diamond and gets Mookie Wilson. Bob Baylor, I remember him from, that's foul back. I remember him from the Toronto Blue Jays in their inaugural season. And that's, again, chopped to short. And Ivan De Jesus waits back and now charges, fires to first, and gets the speedy Baylor. Dave Kingman, Big Bird. Kong, it was what I remember him being called. And that's ball 4. So a 2-out walk. And then it's Foster. Now what I do, and this is important, what I do as I play with, let me see if I have my deck here. Let me see, here it is, yeah. This is what I do when I'm going to be playing a lot of games with the Mets. So what I do is I take out and I protect the cards, you see. Like I'll protect Seaver right away. He's my main man here, so he's going to get protected. And then I'll slowly but surely, every time I get to a player that I say, okay, I need to protect him. Eventually, they all get protected by the end of the game. Foster is up with a runner on first base. George Foster, you figure him, not a bad card. J.O., so he played the whole season. He's got a potential home run at 11 and a guaranteed home run at 66. And it's a 52, and that's going to be a strikeout because Carlton has got an XY. And on 27, that's a strikeout. I have that memorized. But I always double check just when I haven't played a game. I haven't played probably APBA in about 3 weeks. So I'll double check, runner on first, and a 27 is going to be a strikeout. There you go. With a pitcher that has an XY. All right, no runs, no hits. We go to the top of the second. Not Bo Diaz, but the Jose Diaz, the catcher, 32, and that's chopped to second. Second baseman Brian Giles makes the play to first. Ivan De Jesus' card is damaged, a little bit damaged. See that? Got a little tanning. I don't know how that happened. But that's going to be popped up, center field. And that's who's playing out there for the Mets. It's Mookie Wilson. Makes the grab. White Lightning, Robert Denier. Look at that. He's a 3 outfielder. That's the best you can be. So he's a top fielding outfielder. 65, that's popped up. Catcher, Ron Hodges, longtime Met, is going to make the catch. And that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. All right, here goes. Huey Brooks. That's a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks now for Carlton. Next is Howard, and that's a fly ball to right. Mike Howard has 3 at-bats with the Mets, and that's it. So I had to print his card from Steve's card maker. Brian Giles with a 22, and that is a fly ball center field. 3 up, 3 down. So we're moving. These innings play pretty quick. You can play easily a 10-second inning with APBA baseball. Steve Carlton leading it off. 35, that's a K. That's the 3rd K for Seaver in this game. We're going to start moving a little bit faster now. Pete Rose, and that's grounded to 3rd, backhanded by Brooks at 3rd. Long throw to 1st, and gets Charlie Hustle by half a step. And now it's Joe Morgan who flies out to right field, pulls one into the corner, but right there is Mike Howard. 3 up, 3 down. So Seaver and Carlton matching outs. Ron Hodges, 26, and that's ball 4. Look at that. He's got a 14 at that odd number. Ron Hodges walks. Doesn't have a lot of hits, but he does have a lot of walks. So Tom Seaver's going to bunt, and that is not a good bunt. And you got to go to the book for the bunt. That's one thing that the book, runner on first, 35, is going to say double play. F batter is safe at first, and Ron Hodges is definitely not an F batter. So it's going to be 2-6-4 double play. 2-6-4 DP. Top of the order now with 2 outs in the bottom of the third. No score. APBA basic, 26, and that's a strikeout. That is the 3rd strikeout for Carlton. No runs, no hits. Haven't been any hits in this game. Yet. Only walks. All right, the Sarge Matthews, Gary Matthews with a 61, and that's going to be foul back. Again, Matthews. That's going to be a second column. Second column is usually a hit, and that's going to be off the wall. Gary Matthews with a leadoff double for Mike Schmidt. He's up. Pitch to Schmidt, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 4. Strikeout number 4 for Seaver. And that's Snake Eyes. This is probably going to get a run home, a 36, and that's going to be pulled down the line at the left field corner after it is Foster all the way to the wall and around first and into second base. And scoring is Matthews, a double for Perez. So an RBI double. So 2 doubles allowed by Seaver in this inning. Now it's going to be Bo Diaz. Bo Diaz with a 50. Perez is slow. I can guarantee that. So on a fly out to right, there's no chance to advance. But APBA does give you that chance to advance if you're fast on fly balls to right. And sometimes to center. Ivan De Jesus, 63, and that's line center field. And on the run is Wilson. He runs it down. So that's going to be 1 run picked up by the Reds on 2 hits, 2 doubles. And we go to Bob Baylor in the bottom of the 4th. Big opening day crowd here at Chase Stadium, 51,800. Strikeout for Baylor. Kingman, back-to-back Ks. So Carlton's chalking up the Ks. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts, and now it's George Foster. And that's a fly ball left field. Under it is Matthews, makes the catch, now retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. All right, so it's Derinier on a Snake Eyes. That's going to be a second column, and that's going to be driven over the center fielder's head. And into second base is Derinier with a double. So that's 3 doubles allowed by Seaver in the last 2 innings. They're hitting them hard right now. Carlton, and he's going to pop that up. And that's going to be the catcher. Hodges throws his mask away, makes the catch. P. Rose with a 24, and that's a fly to left. 2 out. And Joe Morgan, a 12. That's lined and caught by the second baseman. So no runs, 1 hit. We go to the bottom of the 5th. As you can see, APBA really moves. We're at the 14-minute mark. We're already halfway through the game. A 21. And this is with me talking. That's lifted to left. Brooks flies out to left. Mike Howard had 3 at-bats, and he had a hit in his 3 at-bats. And then he wasn't heard from anymore. Disappeared off the face of the map. Like the Twilight Zone. Mike Howard plays 1 game for the Mets. And that was opening day. 46, strike 3. And that is number 6 for Carlton. 3 up, 3 down. Carlton still has not allowed a hit. He's only a B pitcher, mind you, which is not the best. But if he goes a couple more innings, he will get bumped up. So it's going to be the top of the 6th, Gary Matthews. And that's a fly to left field. Right there is George Foster. Schmidt is next with a strikeout. And that is Seaver's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th strikeout. And Perez, pitch to Perez, and that's a K. Number 6. So Seaver's got 6 strikeouts. Easy inning for Tom Seaver. He's retired his last 6 batters. All right, Ron Hodges. And a 24 is a strikeout. Number 7 for Carlton. Tom Seaver's up, and we're going to let him bat. Oh, I'll let these guys go the whole game. 43. That's a ground ball, third base. Schmidt up with it. Fires to first and gets Seaver easily. Rolled over on one there. 21, fly ball to left, 3 up, 3 down. That's no hitter for 6 for Carlton. I'm trying to jinx him. Bo Diaz. And that's going to be lined center field. Right there is Wilson, out number 1. 36 is a strikeout. It's going to be a 33, and a 33 should be a Y strikeout. Let me double check that. I may be wrong, and I am not wrong. This is Y strikeout. I always double check those things just to reinforce. There's not many. It seems like there's a lot to know. That's a 30, which is always a fly ball to left, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. We go to bottom of the 7th. So Steve Carlton pitching a no-hitter in the bottom of the 7th inning. So you're watching history live. Sports Time Machine. No problem, man. I enjoyed your game. Not happy that the Yankees lost, but that's okay. I can't blame you, but I may blame you next time. Bob Baylor, 56. That's okay. Number 8. Carlton's got a no-hitter, 6 1/3. Dave Con Kingman, 36, and that's okay. Number 9. And up comes George Foster. And that's a deep drive. Back goes the left fielder. Who is that out there in left field? That's Gary Matthews to the track, to the wall. That's out of here. The game is tied, and the no-hitter is kaput. So George Foster gets the dreaded, the pitcher's worst enemy, the 66. At one time, they renamed APBA 66. This is during the turn of the millennial, when it was in the company was in disarray. It was trying to identify who it was going to be, in this new world with technology and everything. And they were trying everything. They did a bunch of stuff, funny things, try to market to little children with funny cartoon cards and all kinds of things. Okay, so the game is tied at 1. George Foster, home run RBI, his first of the season. This is opening day, and it's Huey Brooks. Huey Brooks with a 33. That's going to be lined base hit. So after 6 2/3 of no-hit ball, back-to-back hits, Mike Howard, and that's grounded to short. And that retires the side. 1 run on 2 hits, and the game is tied going into the top of the 8th. It's Seaver versus Carlton. Game 1 of 1983 using APBA. Now, as I was talking about, and we're almost at the end of the game, and this is 19 minutes. So Giles is going to get protected. So as I go in the game, I protect the team I'm going to play with all the time. I'll protect, and if there's somebody in the other squads that I feel that I'm like the leadoff batters, most of them get protected because they're always at the top. So when you move the cards, you're always grabbing the leadoff batter. If you ever notice and you buy a set of cards, it's always the leadoff guys that are most beat up. They're all soiled from, your hands have natural oils and they pick up dirt from just touching whatever you touch. So I try to protect these cards. So when I, leave them to somebody or somebody, I sell them to somebody, they'll have a nice set of cards. Brian Giles, and that's popped up. Diaz gets under it, flips his mask away and makes the catch near the stands. Ron Hodges. Oh, wait a second. Hold on a second. 7-7. I'm in the wrong spot. But that's probably the same. It's going to be the same number because it was it's a 30. 35 is the same on all the cards. So it's in the same spot as the pitcher. It's a pop-up. I let Carlton bat. I did not pull Carlton simply because this is 1983, and that's how I play. And this is ground ball, third base. Brooks. Low throw scooped out by Kingman, and they get Rose. And now a 31 is ball 4, so that's a 2-out walk to Morgan. In APBA, you steal automatically. In other words, it tells you when you steal. Now here is Matthews, and he's struck out, and that is strikeout number 8 for Seaver. So Seaver is showing off his skills here on opening day. We may pull both pitchers simply because it is opening day. And, they just came off. In reality, Seaver only pitched a shutout in this game. He won 2-0, but he only went 6 innings. I already have him at 8. So I'm probably going to pull the pitchers at 8 simply because of, it is opening day. Any other time I would probably be like, well, they can go the whole game or more. But I'm probably going to bring in. And then I have a list of players who actually pitched. So I'm going to bring those guys in for both teams to kind of keep it real. So we're going to let Carlton go one more inning. Both pitchers will go 8 innings. allowing 1 run maybe. We'll see what Mets can do here, but we're going to pinch hit for Seaver. He's due up 3rd in this inning. So Giles is going to lead it off. This is where the game slows down a little bit, and this is lifted to right field. And under it is going to be Pete Rose. 1 out. Next is Ron Hodges, 64, and that's a 38. That's a ball. And a 34, and that's line center field. On the run is the center fielder in the air, and he catches up to it. 2 out. And now we get a pinch hitter, and it's going to be, let's see, who we're going to get. No, Jesus. Well, Jorgensen's a lefty, so we need a righty. Let's see if we had a righty. These are the extra play or the bench for the Mets. We have but Backman, Wally Backman is plays in this game, and he's a switch hitter. Strawberry's not around yet, and Backman I think I had to create because he was not available. Where is he? Did he go flying somewhere? Let me see, Wally Backman. I had to create him, and I had him, so let's see if I can find him. Because he's not in the regular set of XPs. I don't create, everybody for every team. I try to use the main guys again and again. Okay, so I don't have Backman there. He may have gone flying. Let's see if he flew into the garbage. He's not in the garbage. Let's see if he's in the other set with the other team. Where's Wally Backman? This is what slows down my games a lot. I was prepared. The Phils were the Phils. All right, the Phillies are there. And I have the fan on, so that's kind of blowing cards away as well. Right on me. I don't see Wally Backman anywhere. Let's run through these one more time. These are all my pitchers. I have my pitchers set up here. And now here are my batters. Wally Backman. Let's see. And I don't have Wally Backman. Let's see if I put him in with the Phils. Molinaro, Manji. Now with the Phils. And I need Wally Backman because he's a switch hitter. Let me see if he's under here somewhere. Not under here. All right, Wally Backman, where have you gone? This is the actual classic 70s playmat. I should have it laminated, but I don't. So I'm going to create another Wally Backman while you wait. Yes, this is intermission. This is your 7th inning stretch right now. So go get a beer, go take a piss, and I'm going to create Wally Backman. It's going to take me about a minute because I had a Wally Backman and it vanished. Very annoying. So I go to my other computer in my mad laboratory, and I'm going to go to my other computer and I'm going to create a Wally Backman card very quickly. There it is. All right. So I got to go to 1987. I'm sorry, 1983. Excuse me. So I got to go to 1983. And then I click that, and then I'm going to Backman. He's under the B's. Wally Backman. There he is. All right. I'm going to add him. I'm going to print. Let's see if he pops up. Does not pop up for me. Let's see why. I think I know why. All right. All right, let's try again. So I'm making Wally Backman's card. I misplaced it. I had him a second ago. I don't know what I did with his card. He just disappeared. So I'm making another one. Rather than spending my time looking all over the place for him, I'm going to make another quick one. I need Wally Backman to hit in this game. All right. Wally Backman. There he is. And let's see if he shows up this time. Ah, there he is. Save image. Print. I could just roll off the card I have on my screen, actually. I don't, so I'm going to just print them out. But I'm just going to use the card that I have on the screen to kind of play this, so I don't have to hold up the program. Let me see. 2. There he is, Backman. Okay. So I created him. I have him up. So let's see what happens. Wally Backman. He's going to replace. He's going to pinch hit for Tom Seaver. And then we're going to get the pitcher who pitched in this was Sisk. Sisk is a heck of a reliever in 1983 Mets. So that wasted about 3-4 minutes of our game. So that, this game played very fast, maybe a 20-minute game, but the delays are the ones that kill you. So Sisk is going to come in to pitch for the Mets. And he's going to be up there. He's coming in. So Seaver goes 8, and then Sisk comes in. I'm not going to do any stats right now. Just showing how quickly this game can play. So 2 outs, pinch hitter. It's going to be Backman. Wally Backman. All right, here goes. Here's a pitch from a 25, and Backman is going to be a 14. That's a walk. So he waits out, fouls off a couple, and gets on base. Did his job. That's going to bring up the top of the order, Mookie Wilson. Now, there's no stats, and there's no stats on. So you can write this. You can figure out the stats and come put them on the side, and maybe have them on a separate chart or something, so you know. Here's Wilson, and that is going to be chopped to second base. Morgan flips to the shortstop. De Jesus covering, and that retires the side. And that's going to be it for Carlton, and we're going to get, Reed. Ron Reed is going to come in, and Ron Reed is going to come in and pitch, and that's 8 innings. And now we're going to look at the Phillies, their team. There's Reed. He's a B. He's a pretty good pitcher. So we're going to have 2 good relievers coming in, and they'll go a couple innings because, this is 1983. So relievers don't go just, 3 batters. They'll go a couple, 2 or 3 innings easily. So Mike Schmidt is leading it off here in the top of the 9th. It's 1-1. So we have a heck of a ball game going here. Hey there, Sports Time Machine, and RLB is in the house. Always good to see you. RJL is in the house. I'm sorry, guy. RJL. I got to get all those initials and numbers and all that. I called you Robert 666 yesterday. All right. Top of the 9th. Mike Schmidt, 51, and he's an A pitcher. Sisk is an A pitcher, so that's going to be an out. And we got to look in the book for that because A's are something I don't have memorized all the time. But once I see it, I'll remember it. An A pitcher, a 9, is going to be a ground ball to short. And that is at shortstop. That's Bob Baylor. Throw to first, a little high, but nice stretch by Kong Kingman. Tony Perez is next. And that's a 66. That's going to take us in a double column. This could be a potential home run. Depends where we roll. And that's a deep drive. And it hits off the top of the wall and rolls away from the center fielder Wilson. And Perez, chugging around second, is going to try for 3. And here's the relay, and he is safe. Triple for Tony Perez. How old is Tony Perez at this point? Born in 42. This is 83. He's 41 years old. Holy smokes. So that's a 1-out triple off of Sisk. And they're going to bring in a pinch runner. Pinch runner is going to be Milbourne. Larry Milbourne. I had to pull him out of the Yankees set. He eventually ends up on the Yankees to finish out the season. But right now, his nickname is the Devil. And he's going to pinch run at third base. He's fast. So Milbourne. And he does not play first. So I'll have to look and see who can play first. I may be able to put Schmidt at first and Milbourne at third. Let's see what happens. All right. So now it's going to be Diaz. Infield is in for the Mets. Here's the pitch from Sisk. That's a 21. That's a fly ball left field. Mets left fielder is a 1, Foster. So let's see what that is. Well, that's not a very good number, a 1 with a runner on third. This may be a sac fly. It may or may not be runner scores just like that. So a sac fly deep enough to score the pinch runner, Milbourne, and the Reds have taken a 2-1 lead on Bo Diaz's sacrifice fly to left. So there's 2 outs, nobody on, and it's Ivan De Jesus. I received this set. I bought this set picked it up for about $38, which is not a bad deal with XPs. You know, it's not a very popular season. It's popular to me, but it's not a, generally speaking, it's not an 86. Ivan De Jesus is a little tanned here. It's got I don't know what that could be. Could be coffee. A lot of guys drank coffee in the morning when they rolled some dice. 62, and that's going to be Sisk is a YZ. No, he's not. Wait a second. Where is Sisk? No, it's going to be a 62 is a ground ball third base. Brooks throws him out. And that retires a side 1 run on 1 hit. We go to bottom of the 9th. Can the Mets come back against Ron Reed? Reed is a YZ and a B pitcher. You only have 4 grades, really. 4 main grades. Then there's a little, there's ACs, but you don't see many of those. Mostly, you're not going to see those. Sisk is just an A. He's got letters attached. Letters are just about strikeouts and walks, basically control. All right, Bob Baylor is leading it off. He's from Connellsville, PA. 5'11", 160 pounds, little guy. Here goes. He plays all the infield positions and outfield. And he lifts one to left field. Under it is going to be Matthew. Oh, I didn't figure out where. Let's see if Schmidt can play first base. No. Let's see if I have anybody that can play. Well, Milbourne doesn't play the outfield. All right, I'm going to bring in Molinaro. Let me see. Molinaro is just a pinch hitter. Yeah, designated hitter only. What else do I have? Milbourne. I don't have. That's weird that I can't figure out how to set this up. Let me see. I need somebody to play first base, or so I can put no other guy plays first base on this team. Wow. Okay. So then Gross. Let's see. Maybe Gross plays first base. Not Kevin Gross, the pitcher, but the outfielder Gross. He may play. Joe Lefevre's on this team. Matusek. He actually plays first base. That's who, and he's not a bad for. And where is Gross? There he is. Oh, and Gross plays first base. Okay, but I'm going to bring in Len Matusek. Actually, Gross plays in this game. Matusek plays in the next game, so I'll bring in Gross. So I'll bring in Gross to play first base. There we go. So he's in there at the end to play first base. And Bob Baylor lifts it to left, so there's going to be 1 out. And next is Kingman. Here's Dave Kingman. And that's another deep drive. Back goes the left fielder, Matthews, to the track and makes the catch. So Kahn gave it a ride, but it did not carry, and now it's George Foster. George Foster tied up the game in the bottom of the 7th. That was the first hit of the game on the home run to left field. Here's a pitch to Foster. Can he do it again? Snake eyes. That's going to be driven down the line, and that's going to go for 2. 2-out double. George Foster with 2 hits today, 2 for 4. Paying dividends. Mets picked him up as a free agent. I'm not sure what year. I don't know. I can't remember if it was 82 or 81 or 83. They may have picked him up in 83. I'll find out as I learn about this season, as I learn more about this season. All right, so there's 2 outs, runner on second base. Foster, let's see what kind of runner he is. He's slow. Yeah, wow. So Mets are going to probably bring in Jorgensen. Jorgensen, I think, is a fat. Now he's an average runner, so we're going to bring in Jorgensen to run. So Jorgensen comes in to run, and he can take the extra base. And here's going to be Brooks, 2 outs. It's going to be Ron Reed checking in for the sign. Bo Diaz is ready for the pitch, and here goes 35, and there goes 39. Well, let's see what that becomes with a runner on second. That's an odd number. This is weird things happen with APBA, and I override what they say sometimes. Runner out stealing third. Why would he steal third if he's in scoring position with 2 outs, right? And you can say, okay, he had a brain fart, right? You can say a brain fart, but you just wouldn't do that. There's no reason to do that. Not even with a brain fart would you try to steal third with 2 outs. You're in scoring position already. You're going to score on a single. You don't need to steal third. With 1 out, I would say, yeah, he got caught stealing third. I would accept that. He brain fart. He thought he could make it, made a mistake. He tripped. But with 2 outs, I'm going to override that. I'm going to override that, and I'm going to make it a foul ball because I'm the commissioner of my league. Hubie Brooks, Ron Reed, 35, and there it goes again. Foul ball, same exact roll. Here goes 41, and that's chopped to short. And after it is the shortstop. De Jesus gets there, spins, throw to first, and in time, and the ball game is over. No runs and 1 hit in the bottom of the 9th, and the Mets lose it. A great effort by Tom Terrific. Goes to waste. Sisk is going to get the loss. The hero really is Tony Perez with that triple, that 1-out triple. And so the loss goes to Sisk. The win is going to go to, actually the win goes to Steve Carlton because he pitched that 8th inning and he pitched the 8th inning. So then they took the lead in the top of the 9th, and then it was a save is going to go to Reed. And that's it. So this game took 38 minutes, but I think 8 of it or 9 of it was in me scrambling around and so as you can see it's a very straightforward game. There's about 9 or 10. I have to look at the book. When you have to look at the book is when there's first and third, second and third, this sort of thing. Bases loaded. And then you got to learn there's 3 letters. There's Y, X, Z. No, actually 4 letters. Y, X, Z, and W in these old cards. These are from the 80s. And those the 2 letters Y and Z correlate to a certain role. Like 25s and 27s are for the X, and 29s are for the X, and 34, 33, and 34, and another one somewhere is for the Ys. And those are strikeout numbers. So when you roll one of those results, it'll be Y in parentheses. That means the Y takes over and it makes it a strikeout. So another thing I like to do, and I always like to go over, have some fun with what we do here. Let's look at the Seaver strikeouts. And what I like to do is color these in, and this really makes them stand out, and it shows you, what happened in the game. And it makes it very visible. Color always has a stimulating effect. So those are all the strikeouts by Seaver. He walked a couple, walked 2 there. I make my walks in yellow, and that's about it for 3 walks. 3 walks and 8 strikeouts. He allowed a couple of hits. He allowed 3 hits, 2 in the 4th and 1 in the 5th. And then I do my fly balls in blue because that's like the color of the sky. So all these have kind of a rhyme or reason to them. Any outs in the air are going to get a blue. So these are 2 more outs in the air there. 2 more here. So there was a lot of fly balls off Seaver. Not that many ground balls because most of the ground balls turned into strikeouts. That's what this game does. It turns the ground outs into strikeouts and the pop-ups into strikeouts. So then the ground balls are going to be in gray, and there was a couple of those. And that's pretty much Another one here, and I missed a pop-up. So this was Seaver's day. Tom Seaver pitched, gave up 3 hits and 3 walks. So he had a heck of a day. I'm very, very excited to have Seaver back. Played with the Reds from 1977, June 15, 1977, the night of the massacre. It was called the Midnight Massacre. When Seaver cried, New York cried. It was goodbye to the franchise. Huge mistake by a brass that was totally disconnected from what's important, from history, from what's important, what's decent, what's right, what's human, you know. And this was a traumatic, it has a traumatic effect on all Mets fans, this period. And then they bungle it again in 1983 when he comes back. He pitches a season. They figure he's washed up. He goes to Chicago and holds his own for a couple of seasons, you know, wins 30 games actually in a couple of years, ends up on the Boston Red Sox during the World Series against the Mets when he should have been in the Mets dugout. Now, Steve Carlton had himself a heck of a day, took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. And with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th, it was George Foster who stepped to the plate. And here's the pitch from Carlton. And George Foster gets a hold of that one, drives it deep to left field, and back goes Matthews to the track, to the wall. That's out of here. The game is tied. George Foster, with his first of the year, breaks up the no-hitter. And that was the replay of that key play to tie up the game in the bottom of the 7th. So Foster came up big. But then it was later in the top of the 9th with Sisk pitching, and he gave up a 1-out triple to Tony Perez. And then he was pinch run for by Milbourne, who eventually got pulled, and for Gross. Gross came in to replace Milbourne at first base. And that's going to be it. That's the story of this game. Opening day, right? Opening day. I'm going to have to input this information now before I play game 2, so I'm going to take off. Opening day 1983. This game was played April 5th, 1983. It was a beautiful day in New York. I have the whole story in the Sports Illustrated I was showing you. The whole story of opening day is in this Sports Illustrated. So I'm going to read it today just because I just played this game. And that's real exciting. 51,800 people at Shea Stadium for the comeback, the return of the franchise. Both starting pitchers went 8 innings. Maybe I left them a little bit longer on an opening day than maybe I should have. I should have maybe stopped them at 7 to make it a little bit more realistic, since, you know, they come off of spring training, but not necessarily. Who knows? Hard to say. But anyway, guys, this is CP Cards and Dice from Cards and Dice TV. I hope you enjoyed the presentation of the 1983 season, and I will come back with game 2. A day passes, April 6th passes, and they play another game with the Phillies on April 7th, and they play a game with St. Louis, and then they play the Phillies again. So I already have all those scorecards printed out. So this is very fast. I can play this in 2-3 hours, and I will probably stream 2 of the games, maybe pick up a game in the 4th inning, and there'll be a short stream, a 20-minute stream. And this is APBA baseball. Very simple, very straightforward. This is my first game ever. I loved this game as a kid, as a teenager, as a young adult, as a middle-aged man, and now as an older relic of my culture. And that's it. So I'm finishing up, and this is CP Cards and Dice signing out. I will see you guys later. Contact me, talk to me, and we'll talk. Take care, guys. I will be at your definitely at your streams. Be good.